Communists overran most of Hue. Now they've been forced back to part of the northern side of the river dividing the city. The Americans and their allies can't drive them out without knocking a fine old city to bits.
The American bombardment was very heavy. We hit underground, and when we came out, we felt as if we were standing on the moon. There was complete destruction. That's how fierce it was. Of course, facing death, we were scared. When we were about to shoot, some were so afraid they even wet themselves. But once the bullets were fired, everyone disregarded death. Nobody cared anymore. We just tried to find ways to make our death beautiful and glorified, instead of dying in fear or disgrace. The Politburo in North Vietnam had decided to launch a general offensive and general uprising everywhere in South Vietnam on the 31st of January 1968. It was the Lunar New Year holiday of Tet. It was normally a time of truce. In Hue, we, the Viet Cong, entered into the city with ease and encountered no major resistance. Hue's local residents were also caught by surprise. They woke up to see us roaming freely in the city. It was because our plan was carried out in absolute secrecy. The counterattack by the Americans and their allies was so fierce. It was probably the toughest one in the Vietnam War. In all other places, including Saigon, our Viet Cong attacks failed quickly, within a few days. But the offensive in Hue lasted for more than 20 days, thanks to the local residents' support. During the Tet Offensive, I felt the kiss of death 5 times. Once, a mortar was fired towards our position, and a piece of shrapnel skimmed past me, burning my hair. If it had been just a little closer, I would have been dead. But we were exposed by being in the city. We were not able to resist the American firepower. When we drew back into the jungle, we had suffered great losses.
The cost in civilian suffering has been terrible. It has made clear the paradox of the present formula for winning the war. To win back control in Hue, the Americans and South Vietnamese were destroying what they had claimed to protect.
After the Tet Offensive, the Americans realized they could not win the Vietnam War by military force, so they had to find a way out. The 1968 Hue battle played a decisive role that led to our final victory. During the battle, forces from both sides had committed a number of mistakes. So many innocent victims were killed, not only from one side. 50 years have passed. It's now the time for the current leaders of this regime to come clean on this issue, to give justice for the victims,